Hey everyone, it's Carl Brown here from GuitarLessons365.com, and today we're going to take a look at some kind of intermediate level interesting bending techniques that you'll hear and see a lot in rock, blues, country music. I'm going to go through 4 different techniques here, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing is usually when this kind of technique is called unison bending. You'll have heard it a lot in blues and rock especially. And it's really just a technique of trying to thicken up a single note sound. So instead of, say, if somebody wanted to do a melody just like they just wanted that melody in their solo. And they thought, I want to really make those notes jump out and sound a little bit bigger. So what they can do is they take a technique that a lot of guys like to use, is hold that first note, your melody note, with your your first finger. Then come over to the second string with your third finger, and at the 10th fret, so you're going to be 3 frets apart there. You're going to pick both strings, or pluck them if you're finger picking or hybrid picking. And you're going to bend. You're going to pick both strings, and you're going to bend this string up a whole step to where it equals this same note here. So you'll see I'm bending that note to here, which is the same note that we're holding. So that's why that makes those notes be in unison. So they don't start out in unison. You pick them and they end up in unison. So that is a technique that you'll hear a lot. So instead of that melody being this, you have, Okay, a good way of testing that is to do the bend and go back and forth between the notes and try to get them as close as possible. All right, and then you can maybe release the bend too. So that's a technique that you'll see a lot to really thicken up the sound. If somebody really wants to dig in some single notes in a melody, they'll thicken it up by creating a unison bend, so you have 2 of those notes going, and it creates a lot bigger sound. So that technique is usually used on the 1st and 2nd string and the 2nd and 3rd string pairs. When it's used on the 2nd and 3rd string, your finger, since the tuning is different, it's a major third between the 2nd and 3rd, your fingers don't have to be as far apart. So we would do something like this. Here's the 7th fret here. If we wanted to go do that melody that's on the 2nd string, well, we would just do 2 frets higher, 2 frets up at the 9th fret on the 3rd string with your 3rd finger. And you would hold those 2 notes together, and then, so you're bending that up a whole step now. Now, you'll probably notice what I'm doing here. To get this bend going very easy, I'm going to have my thumb at the top of the neck, and you see I have my 2nd finger on the same string as the 3rd finger. That way, they can both do the bend. See, I got my fingers right up against the frets here, and I'm trying to make these 2 fingers just like one really big finger. And so, it's a lot easier to do the bend than if you try to do it with that 3rd finger by itself. So I really create, just really grab the neck, put the back of the neck in that pocket, and, all right? And you'll notice that it becomes quite an easy thing to do, and it's just based off feel. You won't be listening to the notes as much anymore. Let's move on to another, like a double stop bend thing that you'll hear a lot in hard rock and stuff like Slash and some blues players. It's blues based, and it's basically taking your 2 notes on the same fret on adjacent strings. So here we go, the 2nd and 3rd string is where this is mostly done. You pick these notes, hold them both down. It's usually done with either your 3rd finger or your 1st finger, so we'll do it both. You hold the bar across the 2nd and 3rd string, and then got your thumb up here. See that? When I pulled it, I pulled them both. All right? And that kind of sound is used, I mean, you probably heard it a lot. And we're basically pulling each one about a half step. and maybe the top one's being pulled a whole step and the bottom one's being pulled a half. It's not a technique that's supposed to be like, oh, everything's perfectly in pitch. It kind of gives you that style if it's a little bit out of tune sounding. It's also done with the first finger, which you do the same thing. Just hold the second and third string of the 7th fret and pull. See how I'm just twisting my wrist there? You want to see my wrist? I'm just twisting my wrist out, which as long as you're holding this firm, you can pull your fingers down like that. Okay, so let's talk about a different technique now. This one we're going to talk about some oblique bends. Now, oblique bends is kind of like the unison bends, because really what an oblique bend means is one note stays the same and the other note changes. So we call these unison bends since the note become unison, but really they're oblique bends as well. But a popular oblique bend that you'll see a lot in rock, blues, and country is, let's go here to the, up here to the, well, let's do it right here first. The 9th fret on the 3rd string with your 3rd finger, and then the 10th fret on the 2nd string with your pinky. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to change these 2 notes into this. You can probably hear that country effect already. So, so this note's going to stay the same, the 10. So we get to leave our pinky there, and we're going to take this 9th fret and bend it until it sounds like that 11th fret. All the while, we're going to be keeping this pinky down. So we're going to have this sound. So how am I doing that? Well, now I've got as many strings. I got this first finger behind everything, really muting everything. It's not really helping with the bend too much. Maybe a little bit, but it's really just muting the strings. It's laying really kind of lazily behind the strings. And I got these 2 are what's doing the bend. The 2nd and 3rd string. Keep your hand angled and keep that pinky down, and then just bend up into it. And you can go up and down a string and do that anywhere you want. Kind of a little wing thing. All right, and the last one we're going to talk about is one that's used a lot in country music, and we're going to be doing a bend here with our first finger. This is going to require 3 strings. This is kind of a pedal steel effect. 10th fret with your 3rd finger at the 5th string, 10th fret at the 4th string with your pinky. So these 2, and then we're going to play the 3rd string, 7th fret with your 1st finger. So we have this, 10, 10, 7. And we're going to change that to this. And all we have to do, pick all 3 strings and then pull that 1st finger down till we get that note. So you got to really concentrate. I got my thumb in the middle of the neck for this one, and I'm just trying to pull down with the big knuckle. Just keep this firm here and use the back of your knuckle, the base of your finger, to just pull that finger down. And keep these fingers as still as possible to keep it in tune. And you can do that anywhere. All right, get that pedal steel effect. So have fun with these. Incorporate these into your playing and move them around. And please go to Guitar Lessons 365 and let me know what you think about this lesson and the others. And please support the site in any way you can. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.